Hello, everyone. I am Muse, and welcome to episode one of Muse Musings, where I talk about literally anything and everything. For today's episode, I want to talk about Netflix's new animated hit, Gentry Chau versus the Underworld, created by Echo Wu and Ali Wong. I won't necessarily be talking about all the good and bad of the show, but more so just sharing my thoughts on the show as a whole, what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I would like to see should the show be greenlit for another season. I will keep spoilers to a minimum, and when I do mention a spoiler, I will let you know ahead of time. With that in mind, let's get right into it. The music of this show was created by Brian Kim, who coincidentally worked on another Versus show, Star versus the Forces of Evil. Jentry Chau versus the Underworld's soundtrack is infused with a mix of K pop, rap, hip hop, very good ambience, and more as the series goes on. Perhaps the biggest hit of the show is its intro, Flame, by the K pop group Cat's Eye. Overall, I really liked the music. Perhaps my favorites are You See Me Now and Normal Girl. At least that's what I call it because it wasn't listed on the official soundtrack. The blend of K pop and Chinese instruments was really well done, and I'm excited to see and hear more from future seasons, if any. One thing I really liked about the music was the use of the leitmotifs some of the characters had, such as Gentry Chow, her little leitmotif, Chang, or the Mogwai leitmotif, that sort of scary, weird something's going on leitmotif. Leitmotifs are such an underused, I think, or at least underrated music tactic in a lot of these kids' shows or just shows in general. And I would really like to see how they develop as the characters progress in their own development and in future seasons too. I absolutely love the animation for this show. The effects, the movement, the expressions, the backgrounds and lighting effects are just so appealing. It's hard to look away. Also, Gentry's fashion is just really nice too, and it's nice to see characters swap outfits every episode, or at least Gentry. The unique glow the characters have sometimes as well is just plain eye candy too. The fight sequences, the monster design, the way the characters move too, is just really well done. Don't take this the wrong way, but I actually really like that the characters are pretty attractive. In an interview, Ali Wong said that she was hoping somebody out there, some kid, some teenager, whatever, would develop their first childhood crush, right? Or their first animated crush or whatever. And I have to give it to them. You know, the characters are really attractive. You know, Gentry Child, Stella, Michael Olay, and yes, even Kit. He looks pretty attractive. I'm just gonna admit it, okay? So that's one thing I could actually really appreciate too. Again, don't take this the wrong way, but honestly, in a world of big mouth, we have to take our wins when we get them. I like the mood and atmosphere of this show. As someone who has been a big fan of Western cartoons for a while, I have to applaud Gentry Chow for its unique mix of suspense, action, drama, and violence. I noticed this show has the fear tag in many of its episodes, and I can definitely see that aspect in a lot of the episodes and background scenes. Maybe this is just me, but most cartoons rarely show this combination of fear and violence, to the degree that it actually shows blood, guts, and people getting killed. Personally, I always had a gripe with comedic reliefs in animated shows because sometimes there is a really good plot going on and the tension is high, but in the next moment, that tension is cut in half because of the comedic relief from one of the characters or whatever. This show doesn't really have any of that. I'll admit it does have some of it, but for the most part, the stakes stay where they are without breaking us from the immersion of. And if there is a serious moment, the show lets it finish before switching to a silly quip or scene from one of the characters. So, despite this show's pacing moving pretty fast, I do see a lot of potential for future seasons. For example, we have Gentry Chow going back to Korea, her and Michael's relationship, Michael's visions and his parents, Gentry's dad, and so on. Even we have Gentry's friend crushing on Stella. Side note, this might get me some flack, but I actually don't want them to develop a gay relationship between Stella and Toki. Mostly because I think it would be really interesting to see how they develop the relationship dynamic between a gay and straight person. And, because let's be real, like, this does happen, and it'd just be really interesting to see it happen in animation and to see how they tackle it, at least. I did mention I liked Gentry's fashion. However, her friends all kind of got the generic one outfit shtick for most of the season, and I would like to see the others get a similar treatment as Gentry. I know this was probably because the show is just one season and they just wanted to put all of their focus on Gentry for now, but, in case it gets greenlit for more, I would like to see them, experiment a little with the character's sense of fashion a little bit more in the future. I think this might go without saying, but I would also really like them to take a slower approach to future seasons. The creator Echo Wu said that having a faster paced show is kind of in now, what with Gen Alpha and iPad kids having their attention span eroded away from TikTok overdose. But I hope maybe she and the writers would consider moving slower for future seasons and picking and choosing which plot lines they want to develop over time and per season. If I had to give this show a rating, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. Everything about this show was worth mine and your time. The characters are interesting, the art, animation, and storytelling, and age demographic are just what Netflix animation is missing. What with The Dragon Prince concluding its potential final season, I think Netflix should consider making Gentry Chau versus the Underworld its next big animation project. They have more than enough material to make another season, and I'm sure with enough support that will happen. So, if you are a fan of this show, please, please, please spread the word about this show to your friends and family. Make fan art, videos, rewatch it, make fan fiction or whatever. Hell, buy the vinyl. I mean, I'd buy this show on Blu ray if they had it because this is just the best way to show Netflix that we want another season. Even if that ends up not happening, I will remember this as one of Netflix's better kids animated shows. Hello, everyone. You made it to the end of the video, so thanks for sticking around. This is a new kind of video I plan on making more often, mostly because I consume a lot of media and, I just want to, talk about it sometimes. But anyway, I do plan on making a video talking about the Dragon Prince very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and comment what you liked about Gentry Chau versus the Underworld. Consider following me on X, formerly Twitter, where I post whatever, and Twitch, where I sometimes stream. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.